Bonjour tout le monde. I want to take a moment and just apologize for being a little late here. My flight out of Toronto was late, so I got here as soon as I could. Good morning. Thank you all for joining me. I am monitoring the serious and rapidly evolving security situation in various regions of Mexico, in particular the Jalisco State, including Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta, Guerrero State, including Acapulco, Michoacan State, Sinaloa, including Mazatlán, Quintana Roo, including Cancun, Baja California, including Tijuana and Tecate, Nayarit. I am in contact with my Mexican counterpart, who expects the situation to normalize in the coming days. Our ambassador and consular staff are working with their counterparts to ensure that Canadians remain safe. Last evening, we updated our travel advisory to first expand the list of affected areas, to alert that volatility may continue to spread, and 3, align travel advisories with that of our peers. Local authorities have, in some cases, issued a shelter-in-place order, and the situation remains fluid. All Canadians in affected regions should heed the direction of local authorities and travel only when it is safe to do so. As of 7 o'clock this morning, 26,305 Canadians in Mexico have registered with Global Affairs Canada. That is an increase of nearly 8,000 from the same time yesterday. Registration is voluntary. We know that the actual number of Canadians in Mexico is likely much higher. In the last 24 hours, Canada's Emergency Watch and Response Centre has received 440 calls from Canadians who are seeking information about flights and travel advisories. Global Affairs Canada is adding additional surge personnel to handle the increased call volume. A word of encouragement: all Canadians traveling or living abroad are strongly encouraged to register with Global Affairs in order to receive timely updates and information about the ongoing situation and travel advice. We have seen Canadians register in the thousands just in the last 24 hours. I would like to give you the telephone number for Canadians to register: 613-996-8885, sos@international.gc.ca. Canadians should also monitor airlines' communications for the status of their flights. We are in contact with the airlines and with Mexican authorities to ensure that service is safely restored as soon as possible. The safety and security of Canadians abroad remains our highest priority. We are going to continue to provide updates to you as the situation evolves. I ask that all Canadians follow local guidelines, including sheltering in place, if that is what local guidelines are dictating. Bonjour, merci de vous joindre à moi aujourd'hui. Je voudrais vous offrir mise à jour sur la situation sécuritaire et cette situation est fluide maintenant au Mexique. Premièrement, les régions du Mexique sont l'État de Jalisco, y compris Guadalajara et Puerto Vallarta, l'État de Guerrero, y compris Acapulco, l'État de Michoacán, l'État de Sinaloa, y compris Mazatlán, l'État de Quintana Roo, y compris Cancun, Baja Californie, y compris Tijuana et Tecate, et Nayarit. Je reste en contact avec mon homologue mexicain qui a dit qu'il anticipe que la situation va normaliser dans les prochains jours. les autorités locales ont émis des ordres de confinement dans certaines localités et la situation reste fluide, comme j'ai dit. Tous les Canadiens qui se trouvent dans les régions touchées doivent suivre les directives des autorités locales et ne se déplacer que lorsque cela est sécuritaire. À 7 heures ce matin, à peu près 26 000 Canadiens au Mexique s'étaient inscrits auprès d'Affaires mondiales Canada. Cela représente une augmentation de près de 8 000 personnes dans les dernières 24 heures. Comme l'inscription est volontaire, nous savons que le nombre réel de Canadiens au Mexique est probablement beaucoup plus élevé. Au cours des dernières 24 heures, le Centre de surveillance et d'intervention d'urgence du Canada a reçu 440 appels de personnes cherchant des informations sur les vols et les avis aux voyageurs. Affaires mondiales Canada renforce ses effectifs afin de faire face à l'augmentation de volume d'appels. Tous les Canadiens qui voyagent à l'étranger sont encouragés à s'inscrire. L'adresse courriel est sos@international.gc.ca. Les Canadiens doivent également suivre les communications des compagnies aériennes pour connaître l'état de leur vol. La sécurité des Canadiens à l'étranger reste notre priorité absolue. Je vous remercie et je veux disposé à répondre à vos questions maintenant.
Yeah, sir, I'd like to ask about issues with the ROCA system. You're asking today that people register, but that wasn't in your tweets yesterday. It wasn't in the departments. It said to follow local advisories, reach out if you need help. Now you're asking people to register. I'm wondering if that's on purpose, because we know that there were issues with the system. We've heard from multiple Canadians that the website has crashed. What is the status of the ROCA system? Have there been issues? And was it deliberate that it was MPs asking people to register and not the actual department and minister?
Actually, our ROCA system is working well. You can see that in the fact that 8,000 Canadians have registered in the last 24 hours. With the surge in volume, there was initially technical difficulties. Those were resolved late in the day yesterday and allowed the registrations to continue unimpeded. As I said, 8,000 registrations in the last 24 hours, 440 calls. Our system in Consular Affairs is working well. In addition to the registration and the call center, we also have consular officials on the ground at several locations in Mexico. I have here a map of Mexico, and if you take a look at this map, we have multiple consular officials at the major centers. They are all standing by, ready to assist Canadians. And I want to assure Canadians that we are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that we are providing the most accurate advice possible, and we are doing that on a rolling basis. As you have seen, I issued 2 statements yesterday. In addition to that, we have our call center highly active. We are receiving thousands, 8,000 in particular, registrations. So I want to vociferously underline that our system is working well, and where there are kinks, we are addressing them, and it is functioning well at this time.
Do you believe that President Sheinbaum has the situation under control?
I am concerned with the safety and security of Canadians first and foremost. In answer to your question, in my conversation with Foreign Minister de la Fuente last evening, he indicated that the situation should stabilize in the coming days, and that this was a targeted operation which will not continue.
This seems to have been triggered by this, Minister. This seems to have, all this violence has been triggered by the security operation. Given the number of Canadians that were there, were you given any warning that this security operation was going to take place?
I was not provided with any indication that this particular operation would be taking place. And on my understanding, I believe that the Government of Canada was not provided with indication that it was going to occur.
Est-ce que vous préparez des plans dans l'éventualité où la situation pourrait se détériorer dans les prochains jours? Puis à quel moment vous allez être prêt aussi à contacter les gens qui se sont inscrits auprès de...
C'est une bonne question et évidemment, tout le monde veut savoir qu'est-ce qui va passer dans les prochains jours. Mais maintenant, comme j'ai dit, la situation est fluide. Et je suis ici pour vous donner une mise à jour. Ça, c'est une mise à jour qui c'est nécessaire et qui reflète la situation d'aujourd'hui. Demain et dans les prochaines semaines, on ne sait pas qu'est-ce qui va passer, mais je voudrais être en contact avec vous toujours et de mentionner qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant dans le terrain, sur le terrain. Mais comme j'ai dit, j'ai parlé avec mon homologue hier soir. Il a dit qu'il pense que la situation va normaliser. Nous espérons que tout le monde peut continuer d'être et de continuer avec leur vie. Mais c'est différent aujourd'hui et on va suivre la situation très proche.
Quel niveau de stabilité ça va prendre? Parce que la présidente dit on va être sous contrôle, mais qu'est-ce que ça va prendre réellement pour qu'on puisse reprendre les vols internationaux, par exemple?
Comme j'ai dit, si on peut voir la carte ici, ce n'est pas tout le pays. C'est certaines villes ici, comme Tijuana, Mazatlán, Guadalajara, Acapulco, Cancun. Ce n'est pas tout le pays. Donc, on peut continuer avec les plans nécessaires, mais on doit suivre le conseil local. Et nous sommes ici, comme gouvernement du Canada, de vous offrir notre conseil nécessaire et on va continuer de le faire.
The Mexican government for to deal with the situation?
This is an operation that the Mexican government decided to undertake regarding the domestic affairs of Mexico. Our concern is the safety and security of Canadians, and the assistance that we are offering is to ensure that Canadians remain safe and sound. I, as mentioned, spoke with my Mexican counterpart. He did not request any assistance, as he believes that this is a very targeted operation and the situation should normalize.
It may be targeted, but it seems to have spun out of control, and they know very well that there are millions of Canadians down there, tourists and otherwise.
So your question was, did they ask for any assistance? My response was no. And in regards to the thousands of Canadians down there, which, as I mentioned, is about 26,000 who have registered and likely many more who have not yet registered or have decided not to register. And the work that we are doing to support those Canadians is to continue to provide accurate and up-to-date advice. For example, in the last 12 hours or so, we have updated our travel advisory to expand the list of effective areas, to alert that volatility may continue, and to align the travel advice with that of our peers. In addition, we have received 440 calls. 3 of those calls involve consular cases. 2 of those are injuries that are non-life-threatening. 1 of those is in regards to requests for financial assistance. That's the status of the assistance that we are providing to Canadians at that time, and we have not, at this time, and we have not been requested by the Mexican government to assist in any way, shape, or form.
Are you considering repatriation flights? Are you considering sending in planes?
Not at this time.
What about the use of the military? I know that's sometimes lined up weeks in advance.
Not at this time.
Anita,
government should have been given a heads up, given the vast number of Canadians that are down there?
It is always helpful for us to know more in order to support Canadians. And so I appreciated having the call as soon as possible yesterday with my counterpart, Minister de la Fuente. We have been in communication, including this morning, and we are staying in very close touch. You will recall that I personally have visited Mexico in the last 6 months in order to continue that our bilateral ties with Mexico remain strong, and Minister LeBlanc just returned with a trade mission from Mexico in the past few days.
Justement, le ministre Leblanc a dit il y a une semaine de ça, et là je change de pays pour parler de Cuba, il a dit qu'il y a un plan d'aide qui venait de la part du Canada bientôt. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous donner plus de détails là-dessus?
Nous préparons un plan d'aide, mais maintenant nous n'avons pas une annonce pour vous donner. We are preparing a plan to assist. We are not prepared at this point to provide any further details of an announcement. To be clear, we have been in very close contact with the airlines who brought thousands of Canadians home from Cuba, and we will continue to ensure that we are supporting Canadians in any way, shape, or form. I want to bring this back to what Global Affairs Canada does. Our job in terms of supporting Canadians abroad is to provide as much support as possible. That type of support begins with providing accurate information about the situation on the ground. On social media, there is an attempt to provide information that doesn't always reflect the true security situation on the ground. That is also concerning in terms of misinformation and disinformation that individuals may be absorbing. Another reason that I wanted to come today to speak with you is to provide accurate information to Canadians in order for them to make decisions relating to their travel and their security interests. We are doing whatever we can to support Canadians in need. That is why we are encouraging everyone to register with the ROCA system. The fact that we have had 8,000 Canadians register in the last 24 hours should provide you with a sense of the way in which Canadians are usefully relying on Global Affairs Canada. We want to hear from Canadians. And I, similarly, want to hear from my Member of Parliament counterparts, some of whom reached out to me yesterday. I immediately got back to them. I immediately had a briefing, provided more information to all members of Parliament via email last night. I then set up a briefing for all members of Parliament, which will occur today. In fact, the English version was occurring at 11 a.m. and the French briefing is occurring at 12 p.m. And I want to say the reason why I am here, the reason why we are setting up these briefings is because the security of Canadian nationals abroad is not a partisan issue. It is an issue that we are all concerned about regardless of political stripe, and my goal always is to ensure that we are supporting Canadians across the board. Thank you. I've got to go. Thank you very much.
What are your goals in terms of trade as well? Will you be bringing up transnational repression and the killing and the investigations into the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar and other acts on Canadian soil?
Thank you for that question. Of course, the security situation at home and abroad in terms of Canadians is of extreme concern and priority for us as a government of Canada. When I was in India in October, for example, I repeatedly raised issues relating to domestic rule of law concerns, security concerns, and transnational repression. This is a basic necessity for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to ensure that the safety and security interests of Canadians is protected. So the answer to your question is yes, that is always at the forefront of our minds. In addition, at this moment in time, we are ensuring that we diversify trade relationships. That has meant signing 12 trade agreements over the last 6 months over 4 continents. But the priority sequence is to ensure the safety and security and rule of law concerns of Canadians are advanced at all times. En français, bien sûr, quand j'étais en Inde, pendant le mois d'octobre, j'ai souligné l'importance de la loi domestique ici au Canada et les intérêts canadiens et aussi les droits humains. Toujours. Ça, c'est toujours sur mon dossier. En même temps, c'est un moment où on doit diversifier nos relations économiques. Donc, on va continuer de pousser les intérêts canadiens toujours. Ça veut dire les intérêts sur la situation sécuritaire domestique et aussi le droit domestique, mais aussi on va continuer d'avancer, de souligner l'importance de nos relations économiques. Ça veut dire les relations avec les entrants commerciaux. Donc, c'est les deux choses, mais c'est une priorité, la situation avec la sécurité pour notre population domestique, premièrement, et deuxièmement, d'avancer nos intérêts économiques aussi. Merci beaucoup.
Canadians were hurt in the violence in Mexico. You gave a number, and I'm getting a question from an editor. I just wanted to clarify that.
We are currently in contact with them. They are non-life-threatening injuries. I am not able to provide further details until we ensure that we have accurate facts. I want to reiterate, of the 8,000 people who have registered, we have 3 consular cases. 2 of those consular cases relate to Canadians who have non-life-threatening injuries. 1 consular case relates to a Canadian who would like financial assistance. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to stay, but I'm already late. I will return with more answers and updates, but thank you very much.